Referees and officials are an often overlooked but absolutely essential part of sports at every level. I recently learned that we're facing a referee shortage here in the state of Alabama. Bob Shoulders has been a referee at every level, all the way from Little League to the SEC and the NFL. And he says it's not only a rewarding journey, but one that anyone can take if they're interested. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Shoulders, for being with us here today. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into officiating?
Well, it's kind of funny, Susan. I officiated some intramural sports at Auburn when I was in college, and a high school teammate of mine, had a father who was a very respected referee back in Birmingham. And when we got through with college, came back to Birmingham, my teammate and I ran into each other and we got to talking. And so he told his dad that I'd been doing some refereeing, and I got a call from his dad and he said, "I'm gonna come pick you up. You're going to a meeting with me Monday night." And he took me to a meeting that first summer of 1981, and it was the summer of '81, and I've been officiating in some form or fashion ever since.
Okay, well, tell me a little bit about the referee shortage and how that could affect sports at all levels in the future.
We're seeing it much more at the high school level. We became worried and were concerned to start out with, and so we tried to get a handle on what across the state we had in terms of numbers. And finally, about the middle of July, we had a pretty good handle that statewide we were going to be down about 15 to 20% maybe. In Birmingham, actually two of the three associations held their own pretty good with new folks coming in. One of the associations was down almost 50%. So we started trying to really develop some crash course training. We do a lot of training in the summer anyway, but we kind of changed how we trained and spent a lot more time with the less experienced officials, maybe first, second, third year official, to try to, we got them out on the field in scrimmages, and we did a lot of things with them, kind of hand-holding, feeding the basics to them to try to prepare them, because we knew they were going to have to be on the field, and they did. And so we recruited hard. Because some of the college conferences did not play, we were very fortunate, and some of those guys came back and got back doing high school this fall when they weren't doing their college schedules. So that was a help. But it's been a challenge on a week-to-week basis. We've done a lot more sharing between associations and districts when one area may have an abundance of games and maybe needed some assistance, and we've taken folks, and I even got back on the field myself after a number of years to help, and several of us that were directors have done that to help shore up and give some extra help on numbers.
So is being an official a full-time job? Is it something that people can do on the side and keep their regular job?
Yeah, and especially high school and really college too, it's strictly an on-the-side position. It's something that you get paid a little bit for it, but you've got to love what you're doing to do it. And it's fun. You develop some great friendships, some great stories. And then you're still involved in the sport that maybe you have a real fondness for.
Okay, so if people out there want to get involved in officiating and maybe get started on the path that you've been able to walk down, how do they get started?
Well, in Alabama, we're divided into 8 districts, and within those districts there are 2 to 3 to 4 separate associations. And you have to affiliate with one of those associations, which automatically puts you in a part of the state organization. And then those individual associations have a training schedule, meeting schedule, all through the season. And then the associations assign officials to both varsity and sub-varsity games during that season. There is at the Alabama High School Athletic Association website, there's a window, there's a tab that you can go to for officials and how to contact associations, and that will put you on the start and get you going.
Okay, great. Well, if you could just tell people one thing to, really get them interested in becoming an official, what would it be?
Oh, that's a great question. You're given, especially for those of us who played the game, it's an opportunity to give back and to help promote the game that you really cared about. And again, you make some great friendships. You get involved with some things, and you actually do interact with the players a lot. So there are lessons that you can help teach the players. Everything's not always the way you want it to be. I try to develop a communication, a rapport with the players when I'm on the field, and because each one of us may be the only adult figure that they see that has some kind of structure or rules or those kinds of things that they may not be used to. So I try to help our guys to perform those responsibilities and duties with the players and the coaches in mind.